feel the same way Ken does about microphones, but I know it's hard to hear over the fan in the projector, so I will use the microphone. And I think I've been called old twice this morning, Sharon and Ken. Thank you so much. I, as I mentioned, in the State Bar staff liaison to the Young Lawyers Conference, along with Catherine Human, who you met in the hallway. Our job, in a nutshell, is to make you successful. That's what we're here for. That's what the bar wants us to do, and that's what we want to do to make every program and project that you put on successful. Part of that is to make you understand who you're operating on behalf of. The Virginia State Bar, as many of you know, or should know as lawyers and pay your dues to Virginia State Bar, is an arm of the Virginia Supreme Court. So we are a state agency. We operate as a state agency and are required to follow all the rules and regulations of a state agency. The bar has a three-pronged mission. We regulate the profession. Half of the bar's, over half of the bar's budget, as well as over half of our employees work in our professional regulation department. That is the group that disciplines attorneys. That is the envelope that says personal and confidential you never want to get, but many of you will because people complain all the time. The other two prongs of the bar's mission is certainly what the young lawyers are involved in. Improving the profession, making you all better lawyers, and improving legal services to the public. And Carl Doss, who's our new pro bono coordinator, will be here to help talk to you about that a little bit. But Catherine and I have a distinct role as your liaisons on the State Bar staff. Well, let me go through the structure of the bar just so you know. We have a staff. We have a staff of about 75 or 80 people. As I said, most of them are in the professional regulation department, or at least half of them. We are governed, if you're familiar with trade associations, very much like an association. We have a voluntary board and an executive committee. The Young Lawyers Conference is very important to the bar, and because of that, Ken, and the president at the time, has a seat on our executive committee and is a voting member of the executive committee. They govern all that the bar does. And then we have all our different sections, which are funded by section dues. So they have a little bit more flexibility in what they can do because they bring revenue to the bar. The Young Lawyers Conference, the $92,000 given to you all to put on your programs and projects, is solely funded by attorneys' dues. So that makes us a little bit different from sections and how the money is spent. But the bar is basically a trade association. So we have our voluntary group, we have our staff, and then we have all of our volunteers. But Catherine and I's role is to guide you through the requirements of operating on behalf of the bar and on behalf of the state agency. There are procurement guidelines, there are things that you'll find in your notebooks about the different rules and regulations, such as we can't buy alcohol. That's just something that JLAR came through, reviewed all that we did, so that's something bar dues shouldn't be going towards. Things like you can't go out and solicit on behalf of the bar for money from firms or groups without prior approval. All those sort of rules and regulations, Catherine and I are there to help you go through them. We can also help you with background information on your group. If it's a project that's been put on for many years, we very well may have, don't tell Sharon, lots of paper that background on how it's worked in the past, things that have worked, things that have not. So we're happy to sort of give you the wealth of our knowledge. That's not to say we can't try new things or that things haven't changed and let's do it again the same way. We're also here to help you make it a success in any way we can. Some of the things the bar can provide for that success, especially for circuit reps, we can give you a list of who's in your circuit, who are you representing. Some of the circuits, especially in Southwest Virginia, there's very few young lawyers. You may not know them, they don't know you. Some of the huge circuits, there's so many, they certainly wouldn't know you nor them. You know them. So let us provide you with a list of who you're representing. That's also a great way to find volunteers for your projects if you need other lawyers to help you with it. Same thing for committee chairs. You know, I'm putting on a program, I need folks to come or to help. Let us help you provide lists. We can put together email blasts. If they're small enough, we can do them in a day or so. If they're to the whole 10,000 person membership of the Young Lawyers Conference, it takes a little bit longer because it involves our IT department. But we can help you get in contact with them. We don't do a whole lot of mass mailings anymore because it's just not cost effective, and we find we can reach people better through email. We can help you sometimes find a location for your event. You know, suggest law firms or areas we've used for other programs or things we've heard about, so let us help with that. We can post information to the VSB website. Chris, who you'll meet later, is overseeing the website. We certainly put as much as we can on there, trying to keep it as up to date as possible. And we can also help with, especially if you're putting on something that has continuing legal education hours, we can put through that paperwork for you. It saves you a lot of time. It doesn't cost anything. There's usually a nominal fee if you're an outside group, so we can take care of that. Some of the things the bar can't do for you, or we can't do as a state agency. We can't pay deposits, silly things like that. They consider that payment in advance of services. So if you're using an outside venue and all of a sudden, say like for the bench bar dinner, they want a deposit, we can help sort of pave that way and explain why we can't pay deposits and sometimes give them a credit card or purchase order and hold that space. We can't pay an honorarium for speakers or a speaker fee. We can, as I mentioned, pay for alcohol for events. As the Virginia State Bar, none of our members can lobby. So you can't go in and put forth your cause and lobby on behalf of the Virginia State Bar. And as I mentioned, we can't solicit donations without prior approval. That's not to say we have a fabulous program and here's who we want to approach and we think they'll co-sponsor it with us. Going through the right channels, we can get that done, but you can't just go out and ask either a firm or a business to say, hey, be our partner, be our co-sponsor, without letting the bar know. One of the other very important things that Catherine and I work on is how to get your projects paid for, which is very important to you all, and get your reimbursements for things like today. Personal travel or speakers travel all get put on the travel reimbursement form that you got when you came in. In your notebook, there's a long, detailed information on how to fill it out. Basically, what we need is 3 things: your name and address, your social security number. The reason we need that, because people always ask, is because as a state agency, if there's anything owed with another department, they will take that reimbursement towards the other department. We sometimes have that, not really with individuals, but with companies. If somebody has a tax issue, we've had a couple catering companies and things like that that have gotten a credit on their other tax. So that's why they require social security numbers or federal tax ID numbers for businesses. And then we need your signature. You send those to Ken, and if you're here today and putting in for travel, if you have Ken sign it today, that makes it much quicker. You can just leave it with us. And we do need original receipts on those. For your program expenses, if we can charge something up front on a corporate credit card, we are happy to do that. And again, there's a form. We're all about forms. There's a form in the notebook that explains to you what we need and what we can do, how to pay for that up front. If you've printed something and we can pay the printer directly and all that, we're happy to do that. If you need to pay for something, you just send us the receipts, send us what it's for, and we reimburse you for that. And again, we need your social security number on that. If you have any questions, if you're not sure, it is always beneficial to call in advance and ask. I can't tell you we will always know the answer, but we certainly know who to go to in the office, who to find out from. We'll tell you if we don't know and say we'll have to call you back. But always feel free to ask. Don't feel like you're out there doing this on your own. There's 2 of us sitting there waiting to help you and to help you all be successful in all the fabulous projects you do on behalf of the conference and on behalf of the bar. And I'll be around with Catherine all morning. If you have questions, feel free to come find us. Or if they come to you on the way home, feel free to call us anytime. Thank you.